Hey guys, Kyle here, the pentographer, and I'm going to talk to you today about the Lamy Aion. So this is a pen I bought a while back, and it's kind of an extension of the Lamy collection, right? I started with Lamy All-Stars, and I migrated up because I wanted a bit of a nicer experience, and I discovered that the Lamy Aion came in a really nice green color. And green's kind of my thing. Like I've always liked the color green. So I picked up the Lamy Aion. So what I would say is everything that applies to the Lamy Safari and or the Lamy All-Star, especially the All-Star because they've got this, similar aluminum bodies. The body's different, but the aluminum is what's the same. I would say everything about the All-Star is applicable, except just a little better. So what I mean by that is that the nib that it comes with, it's a special nib, first of all. It's a different grind on the end. Like the typical Lamy nib is completely just pointed. But the typical All-Star and the normal Lamy nib is just a straight triangle, straight point. The Aion's nib has just a little bit of a leaf bend to it. Right, so kind of that shape. So, and as a result, I don't know if it's a big difference, but it writes a lot nicer than the other ones. So, yeah, like a Lamy Fine, a normal Lamy Fine writes nicely. A Lamy Aion Fine writes nicer. So it is a nicer writing experience. They must have poured a little bit more work into those nibs. I don't believe they come in a gold nib. They're not available in a gold nib, but they are a special nib on their own, and they're nice. The body is very thick, so if you don't like a large, like fairly girthy pens, the Lamy Aion is one, and you may not like it. I definitely know that the girth of it isn't my favorite thing in the world, but I do like writing with it. It's still fine for my hand, but I have fairly large hands. A man getting this pen might be different than a woman getting this pen. A woman might not like this pen because it's too big. It's not the biggest pen in the world, but it's definitely up there. So it's pretty thick. The cap does post, but it does not post very securely. So if you like to post your pen, this might not be the one for you. It just doesn't post super securely. I've got it in a post, and it's not even like it's gonna come off, but if you're not real intentional about putting that on there, it might fall off on you. Or get loose or something, and rattle around, and you gotta put it back on. Doesn't post the best. The cap on it so on the clip, it's got a little elastic in it, or a little spring in there. So the clip actually comes out from the cap, which is really nice for clipping it on to your shirt or something like that. It makes it super easy. You just kind of away you go. You're not fighting with a really stiff clip. Like the All-Stars and the Safaris, they have a fairly stiff clip. Now they're well designed, so you don't have any problems with them, but they're pretty stiff. And some pens really have a stiff clip that you have to fight with it a little bit, which isn't really all that nice. With the Aion, you don't have that problem. It's got that little spring in it, and it just makes it really easy. So that's a nice feature. It is a completely metal body all the way down. There's nothing on the bottom finial, and there's nothing on the top finial either. It's just aluminum, machined aluminum all the way up. It screws together really well. Now again, since it's all aluminum, sometimes the body will come a little unscrewed, so you'll have to screw it back together. It doesn't seal real well that way. That's just a product of that type of design. A lot of pens have that issue. Some people will throw a little bit of Loctite or something like that in there to at least just keep it sealing. I've even seen some people go as far as modifying the pen and throwing a gasket in there, so you can do that too. I don't know that I would do that with this pen, but in theory you could. I'd probably go with just a real small dab of Loctite, maybe a tiny dab on one side, tiny dab on the other, just to give it that extra bit of grip to stop it from wanting to twist open on you. But I have found that mine will eventually twist off if I let it. So that is something to keep in mind. Still compatible with all the same Lamy converters and everything. This one does come with one, so you don't have to buy one separately, which is good because it's like an $80 pen. It's not cheap. Not by no means is it the cheapest pen, anyways. Definitely closer to like the mid-range, like getting into the mid-range beginner pens is what I would call it, because it's still like relatively affordable as far as fountain pens go. It's definitely not into the gold nib territory, but it's still higher than like an All-Star or a Safari kind of thing. A little bit more like you know what you're buying kind of thing. You've been around the block, or you've done a little bit more research, that sort of thing. So that's something to keep in mind. But it is a great writer. It's a very nice everyday carry pen. Like, it's with the machined aluminum, it's fairly resilient. I still wouldn't be tossing it in a bag with anything metal or anything, but because you might wreck you might get chip the paint, or whatever it is. You don't want that. So, but it could take some punishment for sure. And if you don't mind it getting dinged up a bit, it's a great everyday carry. It writes really nicely. I find the section on it is it's a different feel to it than the rest. It's got sort of a ringed feel to it, and it's kind of nice. Like it's separates itself out enough that it's not difficult to grip or anything. You don't feel like it, and it's light. I guess that's the other thing, is that the whole body's hollow, so it's actually super light. Not a lot of weight to it at all, which is that's nice too. For long writing sessions, you want something that's a little lighter, so that's kind of nice. So yeah. So what else can I cover about it? Yeah, it comes in a couple of different colors. It comes in a blue. Pretty sure it comes in black, I think. It's been a while since I looked at it, so I want to say it comes in a blue, black, and a red maybe, but it might not even come in the red. It might just be blue, black, and the green. I know every now and then they like to release special editions. That's actually, I think the green was a special edition from one year, which is why I picked it up, because I didn't want it to go out of print, not out of print, but out of production before I could get one. So I grabbed one while I could. I would have loved to have gotten the green Lamy, what is it? Crap, I can't remember the name of it. It's been so long. There's a famous Lamy 2000, that's the one. I really wanted to get the green Lamy 2000 so I could go with it, like pair them, but I was never able to afford it when I could, so I was like, shit, like that one's out of my reach, like, damn. I was really disappointed in that, because it's like $1,000 on friggin' Amazon, or on eBay now. It's wildly expensive. So I was just really sad about that, because I was actually really looking forward to that pen when I heard it came out. There wasn't a lot of fanfare about it, but I thought they would make a really great match pair. So, but at any rate, I didn't end up getting one. I might still someday, but for now I don't. So for now it's the Lamy Aion in green, and that's all I got. So, but it's a great pen. I would highly recommend it if you got a little bit more to spend. It's a great one to pick up. I also really like the blue one. I'm pretty sure it comes in black. I think the black looks pretty slick as well. But the green might disappear. I don't know. But I obviously preferred the green because I grabbed that one. So great pen. Highly recommend it. Great writer. Probably a really good journaling pen, I would say. I would definitely throw it in with the journal. Now, it might not fit in all the pen loops because it's fairly girthy, but besides that, it's a good pen. I would throw it in maybe not a pen loop on a journal, but I would keep it in a leather sleeve. That's how I was carrying it when I was carrying it. So I'd throw it in a leather sleeve. I got it, its own leather sleeve, and that's what I put it in. So that would be how I would carry it if I were to carry it anywhere. If I was to do like a pocket carry, or if I had it in a bag, throw it in a leather sleeve and you're good to go. Then it's not going to get scuffed and you're not worried about damaging it. But because it's a little pricier than the other ones, so you wouldn't want to damage it necessarily. But yeah, I think that's probably the extent of my thoughts on the Lamy Aion. Great pen. Highly recommend. At any rate, like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. And as I always say, may your pen always be ink.